So I was looking in the news and looking at the news and seeing this talk about the military draft and how there's a lot of people in the age range of 18, the young generation, I guess you would call them Generation Z, millennials, not wanting to sign up for the military draft if we were to have one. And a lot of people are basically saying, giving reasons why. And I can basically sum it up. I believe it's just that this younger generation doesn't really see light at the end of the tunnel with this, with regard to their future. They don't know if they're going to have a retirement plan. We have inflation now. Not we have it now, but inflation is steadily increasing. People are having to work more and more jobs. Prices, of course, like I mentioned, because of inflation, are going up, but the pay rates stay the same. We're in the gig economy where now it's companies are figuring out it's better to just create gigs. And gigs, of course, there's loopholes in that where people are considered quote unquote independent contractors, where they have all of the burdens of an independent contractor and the burdens of an employer, because the companies really don't treat you as an independent contractor. They do little passive aggressive tactics, basically treating you like an employee, where they can get away with it. You have these rideshare companies, for instance. There's this constant game that's being played out there with them, where one minute you think you're getting ahead, the next minute your car breaks down, next minute you're broke, next minute you got a new car. So you got that whole thing. And you have kids that have been raised and they were taught by their parents to work hard. And if you work hard, you get ahead. You got people out here working hard and they're getting behind. They're not getting ahead. So you have that. You have no hope for a family in the future. You have declining birth rates. You have declining marriage rates. You have a generation of men that watch their fathers, their brothers get wrecked in courts, their uncles. They've seen videos of men who's been wrecked in courts. They heard stories of men who've self deleted due to bad marriages. So there's no hope for that. You have dating apps that the average man doesn't even stand a snowball's chance in hell of even getting anything. And I'm not even complaining about that. That's just the stage we're in. I mean, you created a situation where women have access to the top 0.001% of men, and one woman gets a hookup with that man on a slow Tuesday, and now her standards are high now. She was flown out by some rapper, and he bought her a Gucci bag, and she got buzzed into his mansion. And now, she might weigh 300 pounds, but now she gets back home and that's her standards now. You got to have his mansion or bigger, even though he put a bag over her head and turned off all his surveillance cameras and got her to come in through the backyard. He didn't want her to come in through the door. He told her to climb over the fence. He didn't want to open the gate in the backyard to let her in. Told her to do a polar bear roll over the fence to come in, but yet she's got her standards. So you have, what I'm getting at is, you have the average man who just doesn't really see anything worth fighting for. And I hate to say it like that. Now, there are things to fight for. You fight for your house. You fight for the ability to play your games. You fight for the ability to watch Braun. You fight for the ability, I don't know, to hire a lady in the night whenever you want. You fight for the ability to go buy a pizza. I guess you fight for the ability to die in peace. That's about it at this point. There's really not a whole lot. You're not fighting for a potential family, because the family courts, everybody's bought and paid for it. Family courts, that's a big business. So to see the minute you get married, you're gonna have lawyers hoping that they can get you to get divorced. They're gonna be in your wife's ear. So that's out the window. So you might as well forget that. So it's like, what you got left? And I hate to sound so down, but this is how I feel. Like, what are you going to fight for real? other than the basic freedoms you have that you currently have, because those freedoms they're trying to take those away too. So it's like, what what you're surprised, and then on top of that, you got you think masculinity is toxic. You want every man to wear a dress on and get in touch with their feminine side. You want them to get their nails done, get their hair done, and you're trying to tell them that it's okay to be a woman, and they can be in touch with their feelings, and they can put on a dress, and they can put on high heels. So you got these men, they're going to be in high heels, fingernails, and they're going to be fighting in an army against an army of Russian bears. And you think that's going to go well? And, people say, well, we got drones. We can just sit in our, we can be a man. We can have our lipstick on, and we can sit at the headquarters, and we can just press buttons with our fingernails, and that can take out the armies. It never works that way. At some point, a grown man is going to have to go up against another grown man on a battlefield. And you're going to be running up in your high heels with your fingernails and your pink gun. And then there's going to be a big Russian bear coming at you looking like Arnold Schwarzenegger. And it's just like, and you're going to be so feminized, you're going to probably catch feelings for him. Because you're going to see a real man. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, you might, you're going to be so feminized at that point. You're going to get turned on. That's the world we're headed on. Now, I'm not saying that's all men, of course. We do have hope. There is hope out there, but the direction we're headed in just doesn't look good to me. But this is something to think about. And people wonder why these young generation don't want to get in the draft. Well, you've raised a generation of boys that aren't men. They are taught to be, identify as goddamn bears and birds and flamingos and everything else. And now you want them to jump up and grow a pair and become men all of a sudden and go take out the bad guys. Please. With that said, if you like this video, feel free to like and subscribe. I'm out.